Hi Scorpios, welcome to Souls Intersect. I have your May of 2016 reading ready. I pulled 4 cards for you for this month from my Morgan Greer deck. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm picking up is that something is coming into balance for you in the next few weeks in regard to karma. I feel like there's something that you have paid your dues on in some respect, and you've been waiting for a positive outcome, and I feel like that is coming for you to a certain degree. So with the Justice card, this can actually play out very literally for some people. So it could be a real person on earth, a judge, for example, making a determination in a case, and it's something that you've been really hoping for a positive outcome for, as we all would do. So it may actually be that for some of you, may be quite literal. But for others of you, as I was mentioning, I feel that it has more to do with karmic justice. So again, it could be something from a past life or something from this lifetime where you feel like numerous times it did not go in your favor, and or you were given the lesser of something, whereas now moving forward it's your time karmically, and so you are going to be the one with the more favorable outcome. It's your time to shine is something I'm picking up. So the Nine of Cups here is normally looked at as the wish card, and because it's a cup, it's something to do with your emotional fulfillment usually. And so that could still, of course, apply to something like a court case because it is something that impacts you emotionally. But it can also have to do with relationships, something that you've been hoping for, or work. Most often it would have to do with something social because for the most part that's what affects our emotions the most, and that's what cups are about. And also because I'm seeing this King of Swords person involved looking straight at justice, I'm picking up an energy of a really humble person. It could be an air sign. I don't always follow that necessarily. So it could be an air sign, but it could also very well be someone who is a very logical person, very clear-minded, very fair. So those are some of the qualities that would appear in a Swords character. It could also just be that it looks like this person in some way. So I'm really getting that for this reading. Or that the oak leaves are standing out to me too. So that could relate to the person in some way, like where they're located or something along those lines. But either way, I do feel like this is a figure that is playing into this. It could, in fact, be a judge. It could be, I don't feel like it's an opponent in a court case because I'm getting a lot of positive energy. This feels like someone on your side. And they're looking at the Justice card. And although they have the sword there, that's just an emblem of who they are and all of those qualities I mentioned and what they represent. So that's not really something that's coming in between, I don't think. I feel like this is someone more involved in, so either on your side in terms of the case, or if it's not a case, in terms of this whole karmic cycle, I feel like this is something that is coming through for you. It's either someone that would help you, it could be a boss, and a very humble person willing to help you through something, guide you. It could also be like a teacher or an advisor. And it could also be a lover. So this could be someone who is going to be a partner for you, who possibly already is. If you're already in a relationship, I feel like this could represent that person, and it seems like there's a positive turn. And so again, karmic justice is coming through. The scales are being tipped in your favor. And so I feel like there's more positivism coming through for a current relationship you might be in. It could also mean that someone is coming through for you if you are in a current relationship. A friend of your partner or a family member who's coming through and being really supportive, or a counselor for the two of you. But it does feel like you're moving forward with something, and it's time for it to get better. It seems like there's been some waiting, and it might feel like you just couldn't get it to work in your favor for some reason. And sometimes that really is just the universe and timing, and sometimes it's karma. But I really feel like it's starting to turn in your favor. And again, if you're not partnered up, because I am getting some romantic energy with the cups, if you're not partnered up, I feel like this could be someone coming into your life. And it feels like someone older, and it does not have to be a male, but I really am getting that it's someone older. And that might just be a little bit, but for some of you, or for someone, maybe one person, it feels like someone who's a lot older. And that could still be romantic. It might not be, though. This could be about something happening, like clearing up. For somebody, I'm getting a father-daughter vibe. So it could be that there's been some estrangement or something like that. It could also be a son and a mother, or any combination. But a parent who maybe has been estranged, or you have been estranged from them, something coming through in terms of that. So kind of justice being determined, and it being the right time for that to clear up, to make way for you to have some sort of wish come true in terms of it, some sort of more emotional fulfillment in terms of it, and a more positive period for that relationship. It could also play out in terms of work, a project, a partner, something like that. I'm not picking up too much of that. I feel like for a lot of you, this is going to be about family or love relationships. Okay. Now, although I'm getting a lot of that cups energy, there's also a lot of swords in this reading. So obviously we have the King of Swords and then the Nine of Swords. And this Nine of Swords in particular is really intense in this reading, and I'll come back to that in a second. I just wanted to point out, too, that Justice, while it's a major arcana, she's also holding a sword in her right hand. So that brings a little bit more of swords into the reading. The scales balance it out with some air, but the swords are also air signs, so there's a lot of air energy. The first thing that brings up for me is this idea that your emotional fulfillment might be something that you kind of have to catch. That's kind of a message I'm getting. So with water, a lot of times you can contain it, and it's kind of like the Ace of Cups. It's like handed to you overflowing in this cup. Whereas for you, this determination, or this new phase, or this something that is a positive outcome that could be a wish coming true for you, is not quite being handed to you in that way. You really kind of have to jump for it. And like that's where some of that air energy is playing in. You kind of have to jump up and catch it. Or it could be something like that's, light as a feather, that's floating, that's difficult to catch. It could play out different ways in reality for some of you. But in some way or another, it's not exactly being handed to you as neatly as it would be in cup form, for example. So be careful to keep an eye out for that justice coming through to you. Try not to turn it away. It might not be, again, handed to you, so you might have to look for it. You might have to look up, look around you in the air. And this is all metaphoric, of course, but to find it and take a firm grasp of it. There's a warning with the Nine of Cups here, too, and especially in this depiction, with the hands being bound like this and in fists, that there may be something preventing you from doing that. Usually with this card, meaning it's you, so it's your own mental blocking. I'm really picking this up for that possible family estrangement issue that mentally you may just not want to move forward with it, even though the path is clear for you to do so now with karmic justice being determined. The warning is to try to unbound yourself from this because the chance is there. And it's not to say that it won't come again, but the air is really clear for you to move forward with this. Try not to stay bound here. I really like this depiction of the Nine of Swords because I feel like it follows the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is the one where usually it's a woman and usually she's blindfolded and then has all of those swords surrounding her. And she's only bound up in parts, so usually her feet are free. And there may be some swords around her, but if she could see, if she could just, see the light, quote unquote, she could stand up and make her way between all those swords. So there's some blockages, but it's mostly her blinding herself, which is usually mentally blocking yourself. And then with this one to follow, I like that a lot of times this is the one that has the person in bed with the swords pointing down at them. And that can just be a lot about worry. And again, it's self-imposed. And it's not that meaning isn't carried through with this one. But I like this one because the hands are still bound. So it's almost like you're still blocked. I get some of that meaning still in this card. And some of that it goes a little deeper to say that mental block could be from your own worrying or obsessing about something. That the hands are still bound in this one. So that definitely carries over from that card. And it could be that it's a pattern for you, that blocking yourself in some way, just like not, even if something's being given to you, not quite either being able to see it or letting yourself see it. And that's really a warning here again. So there's a lot of anger in this card too. I mean, with swords, we have that, a little bit of aggression sometimes. I really feel it in this one with the fists being curled up like that in anger. And then just the redness, like all of that redness in the card, it feels really representative of anger to me. So it could be, especially with the family issue, that you're not letting go of your anger in order to move forward with something to try to clear the air. And that could apply to relationships as well. So I'm picking that up for possibly someone who's already in a relationship. Again, there could be like a counselor coming in with this King of Swords character, someone to help, a family member, or it could be representative again of the partner itself, himself or herself. But there could be some anger that is standing in the way. And there's really a lot of encouragement to rid yourself of that if you can. You have the wish card. It's time for your wish to come true, but you have to be careful that you will prevent yourself from getting there. And then one more bit for those of you who may be not in a relationship and this is someone coming in. Let me see if I pick up anything else about that. So again with that, in terms of the block card, because I wanted to incorporate that, it feels to me in that case, I don't feel so much anger around that. I feel more like you may have been waiting for something and a wish is coming in, but again, it's not quite being handed to you exactly. And the way that plays out with this and then the Nine of Swords card for that scenario feels like the person might not be exactly what you wished for. And so you may turn away, you may kind of block yourself from even just trying it out because they might not be exactly what you were looking for. But the universe has brought this in. This is karma at play, and I feel like it's important to at least give it a try as long as you feel safe and comfortable. The final message for that is that, and this is for those who may be single, is that there is a lot of karma again in this reading. So it's possible that someone coming in could be like a brief thing. It could be something where it's romantic at first, but then turns into a friendship. it's possible that it's not going to be a lasting thing. So just be careful not to have your expectations up. And that can sometimes be an issue with the Nine of Swords too. A karmic relationship, and there's a little bit more about it on my website, but it's something that doesn't always last. You do come together to clear karma though, so it's very important that you try it out and go forward with it, but just don't have expectations that it will last necessarily. So I'll leave you with that. If you have questions, please email me. Or if you're interested in getting one of my private readings, you can email me at soulsintersect@gmail.com. Thank you.